Picture this. It's the dead of night in the Catalina foothills of Tucson, Arizona.
Right. It's a wealthy area, normally very, very peaceful.
Totally quiet. There's a single-story home sitting in the dark. Inside, an 84-year-old woman is sleeping.
But outside, something is happening. A sequence of events that is just terrifyingly precise.
It's a digital severing. That's really the only way to describe what the logs show.
Yeah.
At 1:47 a.m., a Ring doorbell camera, it just disconnects.
Not a power outage, it's severed.
Exactly. Then, at 2:12 a.m., a motion sensor trips inside the house, but here's the kicker. It records no video. It's blind.
And then comes a detail that, it actually gave me chills reading the report.
At 2:28 a.m., a Bluetooth signal drops.
That was the pacemaker.
Her pacemaker. It stopped communicating with her phone. Nancy Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie's mother, was gone.
And just like that, the cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and Hollywood, and really the rest of the nation, had new, terrifying obsession.
Welcome to StarScope Report.
Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals.
From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame. But today is different.
It is. We're not talking about a movie premiere. We are breaking down the headline that has just paralyzed the media world.
The abduction of Nancy Guthrie and the ticking clock of a Bitcoin ransom.
Yeah, this story is everywhere, but we're going to try and do something a little different here.
We're looking at police reports, TMZ updates, even transcripts from the Today Show. We need to unpack this whole digital severing of her home.
And the economics of a crypto ransom, which is a world in itself.
And the psychology behind that just heartbreaking video plea from her family.
It's a collision of celebrity culture, cybersecurity, and, old school investigation. And honestly, the data points we have, they're almost too clean.
Which makes the chaos that followed even stranger. So let's start with the timeline.
Okay.
Because the precision here implies this wasn't just some random break-in.
Oh, no. This wasn't a crime of opportunity. Not at all.
If you look at the timeline from the Pima County Sheriff's Department, it implies heavy surveillance.
Right. So we know that on Saturday, January 31st, Nancy was at a family dinner.
Just a normal family thing. She was with her daughter Annie and son-in-law Tommaso Cioni.
She takes an Uber there, but Tommaso drops her back home at 9:48 p.m.
Okay, so we have a hard time for that.
We do. And we have confirmation the garage door closed at 9:50 p.m. That timestamp is crucial.
That is the last verified moment she was safe.
And then we enter the void from 9:50 p.m. until that camera cuts out at 1:47 a.m.
That's a long time.
It is. But I want to go back to that pacemaker detail you mentioned.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because I think a lot of people are glossing over how significant it is. At 2:28 a.m., her heart device stopped syncing with her phone.
So, okay, let's unpack that. I've seen people online asking, does that mean her heart stopped?
Not necessarily, and that's a really important distinction. These new pacemakers, they're not just mechanical, they're data transmitters. They use Bluetooth to handshake with a phone or a console to send data.
So it's constantly talking to her phone.
Exactly. So when that signal drops, it means the handshake failed. Now, that could happen if a patient passes away, yes.
But in this context...
In the context of an abduction, it usually means she was moved out of range of the phone. Or the device itself was disabled.
And the police found her phone and watch left behind in the house.
Precisely. It strongly suggests that 2:28 a.m. is the moment she was physically removed from the property.
Wow. It creates this picture of a silent extraction. No broken glass, no screaming.
Just data points turning off, one by one.
It's terrifyingly efficient. And then the sun comes up on Sunday morning. Nancy misses church.
Which for her is a huge red flag.
So the family goes to check on her around noon, and the house is empty.
But not just empty. This wasn't a, wandering off situation. Sheriff Chris Nanos was very clear about that from the jump.
Right. He said there was forced entry.
Forced entry. A security camera had been physically removed, like ripped out of the house.
And the blood.
And, most disturbingly, blood droplets on the porch that matched Nancy's DNA.
That's the detail that just pivots this whole thing from a missing person case to a violent abduction.
Sheriff Nanos said it explicitly. Taken against her will. And you have to remember, Nancy is 84. She needs daily heart medication.
And the police said that without it, the situation could be fatal within 24 hours.
And we are way past that window now.
So you have this frail, elderly woman taken in the dead of night with almost military precision, leaving her phone behind. It's a nightmare.
But this is where the story takes a turn that I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah.
If you think a silent, high-tech abduction is scary, wait until you hear how the kidnappers made contact.
It wasn't a phone call to the family. It wasn't a text message.
Yep.
They emailed TMZ.
Which just changes the entire complexion of the case, completely. It moves it from a private crime to a public spectacle. Coming up, we're going to get into that. The bizarre ransom notes and the specific phrase Savannah used that has the internet convinced there's a tragic twist.
Yeah, it raises this huge question about whether this is about money or if it's about fame.
Okay, so the ransom. Let's unpack that.
Right. Because usually, in the movies, the kidnapper calls the family, I have your daughter, put the money in the bag.
That's the playbook. Keep it quiet, keep control. But here, the first communication went straight to the media.
TMZ, KOLD TV, and KGUN TV. They all get emails.
Could you imagine being an editor at TMZ and that email lands in your inbox? You'd think it was a prank.
Totally. But Harvey Levin, the founder of TMZ, he actually talked about this.
Right. He confirmed they vetted it very seriously. The Bitcoin address in the email was active.
Okay, so that's one check.
And to prove it wasn't a hoax, the note had very specific details.
Like what?
Details about what she was wearing, her nightgown, and specific damage to the house that hadn't been made public yet.
Ah, so that's the proof. That's something only the person who took her would know.
Exactly.
And the demand.
Millions in Bitcoin.
Of course it's Bitcoin. But I feel like criminals think it's untraceable, which it isn't.
Not
Yeah.
at all. It's extremely trackable on the public ledger.
Yeah.
You just don't always know who owns the wallet,
So it's the modern version of non-sequential bills.
basically. But here's the pressure cooker.
Mhm.
They set deadlines. The first one was last Thursday, February 5th.
That passed.
It passed. The second deadline is today, Monday, February 9th.
That is just terrifying. But you mentioned hoaxes earlier. There was an arrest, right?
Yes, and it's so important to separate this out.
Okay.
The FBI arrested a guy in California, Derek Kalila. He sent fake ransom texts to Nancy's other daughter, Annie.
Just scum of the earth.
Truly. But authorities made it clear he was just an opportunist.
So he's not connected to the actual abduction?
No, he just saw the news and tried to capitalize on it. The real kidnappers are still out there.
Which brings us to the family's response. Because they didn't hold a press conference. They went to Instagram.
And this is where the analysis gets really heavy. Savannah, her sister, and her brother released this video plea.
And if you listen to the wording, it's heartbreaking, but it's also very, very specific.
It feels scripted, but
Okay.
not by a PR team.
I have the quote right here. Savannah says, "We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is very valuable to us and we will pay."
Celebrate with her.
That's the phrase. That is the phrase that has the internet just losing its mind.
It's ambiguous, and you have to think it's intentionally ambiguous.
Right. Celebrate usually means a reunion, a party.
But in the context of an 84-year-old woman without her heart medication, for days,
Oh.
people are interpreting it as a coded message.
Meaning what? What are they signaling?
It's the remains theory.
Oh, wow.
The theory is that the negotiation has shifted, that maybe the family has received proof that Nancy's already passed away.
So celebrate isn't a homecoming. It's code for a funeral, a celebration of life.
That's the theory. And it puts a whole different light on the phrase, this is the only way we will have peace.
And it connects back to earlier in the week when they were demanding proof of life.
Right. Because of AI deepfakes. The
Mhm.
FBI has been warning about this. You can't trust a voice recording anymore.
So they needed proof. But this new video shifts from prove she's alive to we understand and we will pay.
It suggests a fundamental shift in the negotiation.
Like they received news she didn't make it?
It's a possibility we have to consider. Or, and this is just as chilling, celebrate is a specific code word that the kidnappers told them to use.
Oh, like say this in your next video or we heard her.
Exactly. To prove they're complying.
It's just the vulnerability of it all. Negotiating with digital ghosts for your mother on a platform where people post pictures of their brunch.
And doing it publicly. That's the other thing. He shows a level of desperation. They're trying to speak directly to the kidnappers, knowing they're watching.
Speaking of public channels, we have to talk about the Today Show.
Yes.
Because while this is unfolding in Arizona, the show had to go on in New York. And it led to one of the most emotional moments in recent TV history.
It's a fascinating case study in what we call parasocial relationships.
Explain that for us. Because I felt it too. I don't know Nancy, but I felt gutted.
That's parasocial grief.
Yeah?
It's that one-sided bond viewers form with media personalities. Savannah Guthrie is part of millions of people's morning routine.
You have coffee with her every day.
Right. And her mom, Mama Nancy, has been on the show. She was a recurring character in the Today Show universe.
The funny, spunky lady who visited the set and made Hoda laugh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when this happened, it wasn't just another saloony story. It felt like a neighbor went missing.
And NBC had to handle that so delicately.
And Savannah was supposed to be hosting the Olympics, right?
The Winter Olympics in Milan. It's a career pinnacle.
The biggest gig in sports broadcasting. Obviously, she pulled out. Mary Carrillo stepped in. But the real story at NBC wasn't who left. It was who came back.
Hoda
Kotb. She retired in January 2025. She'd been gone for a full year.
And there she was, back at the desk on February 6th.
I saw the clip. She was sitting with Craig Melvin and Chanel Jones, and she just broke down. It was so raw.
She said she felt helpless, but from an institutional level, NBC brought her back as a stabilizing force.
A family member coming home during a crisis.
It reinforced that idea that the Today Show cast is a family, and by extension, the viewer is part of it. A message of, we're circling the wagons.
And it's grouped everyone. Even the president got involved.
Yeah, President Trump called Savannah personally. He directed federal agencies to assist immediately.
Which elevates this from a local case to a full-blown federal priority.
And yet, here we are. It's Monday, February 9th, the day of that second deadline. What is happening on the ground right now?
It's grim. Police are searching septic tanks and manholes near the home. We're seeing reports of drones flying grid patterns over the property. The street's been taped off repeatedly.
Septic tanks. That's not where you look for a hostage you expect to find alive.
Unfortunately, no. It suggests they're looking for evidence of concealment, or worse, they're looking for a body.
And we still have this Monday deadline looming.
Which explains the urgency in the family's video, "We will pay." They are racing against a clock that someone else set.
If you're hooked on this unfolding mystery, make sure you're subscribed. We're tracking every update on the Guthrie case as it happens, so hit that button.
Because things are moving really fast.
You know, for all the high-tech stuff, the Bitcoin, disabling the cameras, there's one clue that feels very old school.
The white van.
It sounds like a cliche, doesn't it? Suspicious white van seen in the neighborhood.
It does. But think about where we are. The Catalina foothills. It's a quiet, affluent area where people know their neighbors' cars.
So a beat-up white panel van stands out.
It really does.
Yeah.
And a neighbor reported seeing one nearby in the days before the abduction.
It creates this contradiction.
It really does. On one hand, you have sophisticated digital silence, maybe jamming a pacemaker signal. And on the other, you have a chaotic ransom rollout emailing TMZ.
And a conspicuous white van.
Exactly. Is this a highly professional hit team that knows how to scrub digital footprints? Or is it a clumsy, chaotic attempt to cash in on fame?
That's the multi-million-dollar Bitcoin question, I guess.
And that leads us to the final thought for you to consider. We are watching a crime that sits right on the fault line of the future.
AI voice fears, crypto ransoms, bio-digital hacking.
But in the end, it all comes down to language.
That one word.
Celebrate. In a world of deep fakes and digital deception, language might be the only truth we have left. Is celebration a promise of payment for a life saved?
Or is it a desperate bid for closure, an acknowledgement that the only thing left to buy is the chance to say goodbye?
We're going to keep tracking this. As soon as that deadline passes or we hear anything from Tucson, we'll update you.
Absolutely. Stay safe out there.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.